피보디오는 생긴 지 이제 4개월 된 스타트업인데요. 아티스트 교육 프로그램을 개발 중에 있습니다. 피보디오는 악기를 하시는 분들 또는 아티스트가 되고 싶어 하는 분들이 쉽게 전문가분들하고 소통을 할 수 있는 그런 사이트인데요. 본인이 원하시는 전문가들을 선택을 하셔서 작업하는 파일이나 아니면 연주하는 모습을 오늘도 보내주셨듯이 오디오나 비디오로 담아서 보내주시면 저희 전문가분들이 실행 가능한 조언을 오디오나 비디오로 보내드리는 그런 시스템입니다. 투자가분들도 또 놀라는 것 중에 하나가 저희 그 전문가분들의 경력이고 또 그래서 효진 선생님도 같이 하자 이렇게 하신 건데 일단은 뭐 그래미상부터 에미 또 6억에서 9억 스트리밍을 가지고 계시는 그런 그 작곡가분들 아주 유명한 아티스트와 또 콜라보를 하셔서 프로듀서를 맡으신 분들 뭐 바이올린, 기타, 뭐 클래식 재즈 뭐 여러 장르하고 악기의 그런 전문가분들을 저희가 보유하고 있고요. 피보디오의 그 모든 프로젝트는 아티스트의 꿈을 지속하게 도와주는 건지 아닌지를 기준으로 해서 할 일을 정하거든요. 그래서 이 아티스트의 꿈을 도와주는 거라면은 그에 따라서 계획도 하고 실행을 해요. 그 꿈을 이루어지게 할 수 있도록 도와주는 거하고는 약간의 다른 의미인데요. 저희는 어떻게 하면 부담 없고 또 쉽게 유명한 전문가분들과 소통할 수 있을지를 매일 고민을 하고 또 전문가분들에게는 어떻게 하면 더 많은 사람들이 이분들의 발자취를 이제 학습할 수 있을지 매일매일 고민을 하고 있거든요. 그래서 또 저희가 한 가지 또 계속 또 노력하고 있는 점 중에 하나는 또 아티스트의 복지와 급여가 당연시되는 그런 사회를 만들고 싶은데 이제 저희 꿈이 또 한 가지가 있는데 음악을 하면 배고프다라는 그런 잘못된 생각을 없앨 수 있도록 또 저희가 직업도 많이 창출을 해야 되고 교육의 질을 높이는데 이제 항상 노력을 하고 있지만 이게 굉장히 커다란 숙제거든요. 그래서 저 혼자만은 할 수 없는 일이고 또 더 많은 솔루션이 필요하고 있기 때문에 오늘도 여러분들의 관심과 또 제일 중요한 참여 부탁드리려고 오늘도 나왔습니다.
네.
저기 조나단은 제가 처음 만난 전문가분이어서
그렇다고 하셨군요.
다 화상 통화만 했는데
네.
조나단은 제가 직접 만나는 게 왜냐면 화상 통화를 하다가 어디 사냐 뭐 이런 얘기까지 나왔는데 내가 여기 노스캐롤라이나에 산다 더레미라는 곳에 산다 그랬더니 자기 더레미 와 있다고 지금 투어 중인데
네.
해가지고 이제 공연에 초대를 받아가지고 간 거예요. 근데 조나단을 처음에 만났을 때 제가 가장 감명 깊었던 게 뭐냐면 공연장 바로 앞에서 만났거든요. 공연 시작하기 전에 그랬는데 그 출연진들이 저는 모르죠. 분장을 안 하고 있으니까 다 캐치 분장을 하고 있는데 그때는 이제 공연 전이니까 그냥 모르는 사람이 지나가는데 조나단을 대하는 게 너무 친근하고 그리고 그 존경의 눈빛 이런 걸 보면서 이게 25년 된 리더십이구나라는 걸 보고 정말 배울 것이 굉장히 많으신 분이고요. 굉장히 그 따뜻한 리더십 이런 게 느껴지실 거예요. 그래서 그게 저한테 너무 좋고 아무것도 모르는 저에게 손을 뻗어주신 첫 번째 분이고 그래서 이분만 생각하면 은인 같은 그런 분이에요. 저한테는. 그래서 그냥 제인 네가 하고 싶은 거 다 해. 내가 도와줄게. 이런 분이거든요. 그래가지고 제가 그런 분들이 좀 계세요. 그런 것만 생각하면 제가 진짜 열심히 안 하면 안 되겠다라는 그런 사명감이 계속 들게 하시는 그런 분 중에 하나예요.
Are doing really well when they stay positive and hopeful that the next show will bring work for them because there are literally tens of thousands of actors and singers and there are only a few hundred jobs on Broadway at any given time. So Broadway is a collection of 30 or so theaters in New York that each one of them employs between 10 and 30 actors. So just doing that math, there's not many jobs, and so each one is very special and hard to get. So people are very hopeful and staying positive to keep trying because they will audition hundreds of times before they get one job. Well, I feel very lucky, first of all, to be able to have had a career for over 20 years now in this industry. And much of that has been on Andrew Lloyd Webber's shows. And so because he's such a popular composer, his shows have been running for a very, very long time. Actually, he's had a show on Broadway since 1979, continuously. So I've been able to work in that particular corner, but also in many other productions by meeting many other people. So once I was hired for Cats many years ago, too many right now, but I then met more people who worked in different shows, and they would think of me when there was a job that would come up, and that's kind of how it works. Is the more people you know, the more people you meet, the more times you will be thought of for the next job that comes along. Yes, I've been thinking a little bit about what are the most important parts of entering this business, and I think the first thing I would suggest is to always go into a new audition thinking that you have something to offer the people who are watching you, and that you have value in that audition, because without the singer or the actor, the play cannot happen. So you are offering your talent to do that, and in that, you should honor your talent and who you are by being yourself, and don't try to be somebody else or fit into what you think is the proper way to do a song. It's more about what you as an individual have to offer the song, and that is what we who watch you audition are most interested in. Take any show that you know very well and think about a character. Don't be Hugh Jackman as Jean Valjean, but be yourself as Jean Valjean and sing that as you would, and what that song means to you. And I think that's probably the most important thing in auditioning right now, and I think it's something that we need to hang on to, especially after the last few years where we haven't been doing it very much. It's very interesting because music theater comes from traditions of stage plays, and so there was certainly the influence of opera back in 200 years ago that started what we think of as music theater, but then also thinking about how the French brought melodrama into it, and that was just speaking scenes with musical underscoring, so music playing in the background like a movie, and the actors delivering the script. And so as music theater was brought to its most popular phase in the early 20th century, I think the merging of those two ideas, where there's a scene that happens that is spoken most of the time, and then a song to express the emotion, that's kind of the early iterations of music theater. And it moved then to not just having a song express emotion as it did in opera, but then there would be songs that could drive the story forward. So if you look at the opening number of Music Man, for instance, it's telling us that they're on a train and they're going somewhere across the country, and this clever device of using those rhythms to tell the story and to put us somewhere is a very wonderful device. So that also includes a lot of speaking and scene work in that show. But then if we move into other shows like Les Miserables or Cats, even, that they're just singing all of the time, and you would think that feels more like opera, but really there's so many things that must be acted through those songs, and so the actor then becomes part of the music, and part of delivering that music must be the action and the acting that they are doing. I would say keep doing as many different styles as you possibly can, and don't limit yourself by what you think you can do, but try to do as many things as interest you. So if something seems like an interesting song, don't rule it out just by the fact that maybe it's not your type, because it's something that you can at least study and learn about in terms of developing that character or learning something technically to improve yourself as a vocalist or as an actor. And then my other advice would be to always try to keep positive about your career as you enter it. So knowing that there are so few jobs and so many people trying, the truth of the matter is that work is hard to find. And so you must keep going by believing in what you're doing, and to know that why you're doing it is because you enjoy it and that it brings you such fulfillment and joy. And that should be the thing that guides you. And so use your talent to honor that. And I think those are two great things to hold on to.